What's up, geniuses? Welcome back to For The Record. I'm your host, Markman. Now, today's guest is no stranger to the show. Actually, he was just here. Actually, I'm going to be real. When he was here, I thought his album was coming out. I found out that his album wasn't coming out, but now his album is here, and he came back. Why? Because he's one of the illest lyricists breathing right now. His new album is out, The Allegory, Royce the 5'9". Welcome back to For The Record.
My brother, it's an honor and a privilege to be here.
Man.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I look forward to these talks, man, because I feel like they you know, when you create with intent. Mm-hmm. And I feel like nothing is wasted and everything has a purpose and it sticks. And a lot of times you say things that I don't get right away and it comes back later and you get that aha moment. Mm-hmm. And those are some of the best moments in hip hop. And I feel like you've given us a project with the Allegory that lends itself to a lot of those moments. Okay. I just want to start with the concept, right? The Allegory is based off of Plato's Allegory of the Cave.
It's inspired
by. Can you just explain what that is? Because that went over my head. Like,
well, yeah, I was reading it, and what I took away from it is just perspective. Mm-hmm. You know, like it made me real intrigued just about perspective, and spoke a lot about human programming, and just, you know, imagine being in the cave like all your life, and then, you know, like I take you out of the cave maybe 10 years later and you see the sun for the first time. You're going to have to squint your eyes and it's going to take you a minute to adjust to the sun, and like looking at large bodies of water, you won't have the verbiage to be able to explain to the other people in the cave like what you're seeing. And even though what you're looking at is reality, it doesn't really become your reality until you're willing to accept it as your reality. Mm. You know, because you could very well just turn around and go back into the cave, which would probably be an easier choice for you at that moment. Mm. You know, so I attribute that to like the way that we take in information. You know, not all of us are willing to unlearn some of the things that we learned in order to be able to take in the reality. You know what I mean? I feel like you have your regular set of truths that's given to us from kindergarten to now. Mm-hmm. And then you have your other truths, the pesky facts, you know, like the facts that are like, they can kind of like get in the way.
Right.
They cause mischief, you know, those facts. I'm intrigued by those facts these days. Mm-hmm. And I'm just doing a lot of research, and some of it is considered conspiracy. Some, you know, some stuff people agree with, some don't. It just, you know, when you start becoming like a junkie for information, you just start becoming one of those people that just, you know, you believe what you believe, people believe what they want to believe. It's just fun. It's fun. So, you know, I'm able to draw parallels between that way of thinking, the way that the record business is set up, the infrastructure, and the way that the U.S. government is set up is very similar. You got the powers that be, and then they control the money, and then they use it to control a certain narrative. And the agenda is capital gain, you know.
Nah, that's dope. Actually, hearing you kind of break it down like that, because as I'm digesting the album and really again learning, it's layered, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you had the album layers, but this like literally like peeling back the layers of what this means, and I feel like it's cumulative of the new information that you're taking in, life experience that you already have, being black, particularly in America, you know, and all of that is wrapped into one. Was there a specific moment that, like, what was the light bulb moment that you knew that this was something that you were gonna rap your album around?
There wasn't a light bulb moment. It just kind of I didn't know I was gonna make an album. Remember I was telling you before. Right. I just kind of messing around with the production, and one thing led to another, and I ended up just with a small body of work that I decided, all right, well maybe I guess we're gonna call it an album, and I'm gonna just add a few more songs to it. The thing with that is, if I'm going to add a few more songs to it, I might as well be the one to produce all of them, because I produced the rest of it. I might as well just produce it.
Right.
And that's pretty much how that happened. So as far as the content, it's just a reflection of just things that get discussed daily at Heaven Studios. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like when the youngins come in and I'm like doing all my preaching and mentoring and advice giving and, you know, just trying to get them to understand that you can't be so accepting. You know, you can't be so accepting. You can't just be so eager to believe the first information that you take in. You know, you can always challenge. You can always challenge things. You can always check up behind sources of things. Nothing's going on in today's society that gives you a reason to be trusting of what you're taking in.
Right.
You know, so that's kind of like what I stress, because it'll put you in a better mind state. Like if you getting into the record business, and you know, you talking to your attorney who's been like he's been given to you by somebody else that you know in the business, maybe somebody at the label, like, oh yeah, go with this attorney. Then you got this attorney, and then this attorney is like, oh yeah, this deal right here, this is standard. And you know, you're in a 360 deal,
right?
You know what I mean, for however many
because
hours.
you chose to accept it. You chose.
Yeah,
to,
you're just
right.
accepting it. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Right. It is standard. It is standard, but the way that it became standard is by us being so accepting, and us not challenging things.
You know, damn, this is dope because it does help me understand the album better. I learned a lot, or it made me think about things different, right? Like one of the things, and we're gonna get into actual songs and lyrics, but just man, it fucked my head up. The ice cream truck, the theme song.
You
have
didn't
the
know
skit.
about that?
I didn't know about that, and when I heard it, I looked it up because I said, this can't, like, that's fucked up. So I look it up and I'm like, holy, like, this shit is real. Can you kind of explain for those who haven't listened? First of all, why haven't you listened yet? But the ice cream truck theme song.
The usual theme song that you hear. The origin of the song is it was an original song by a gentleman named Harry C. Brown.
Yeah.
I believe it was 1914. Was it 1914 on Columbia Recordings? It's been in the Little Rascals and all types of just programs that we used to watch as a kid. It was, for all intents and purposes, a hit song.
Right.
And it was a racist song called "Nigger Love a Watermelon."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's great. And you know, now that song, that ice cream, it's divorced from that in the way that when you hear it, you think ice cream. Mm-hmm. But that kind of goes back to that programming that you were talking about, when the origin is actually kind of very sinister within its origin, but
I think it's telling.
Different.
I think it's telling that it's that melody that you hear in every single black neighborhood every single day in the summertime because of the ice cream truck. And a lot of times it's a black guy driving the truck who has no idea. You know what I mean? And if anything, you would think that something like that would make people want to at least start to know their heritage a little bit better, or at least a little bit of history, where they come from. It just shows that it's relative. It matters. Right. It matters. You know what I mean?
On Upside Down, featuring Benny the Butcher, you give another message, right? Mm-hmm. Black women want to be built like cartoon characters. Eric Cartman, that bears a striking resemblance to Sara Bartman. Now, Google that when you get a chance. You're going to find out America's Heartless. First of all, from a technical Cartman, Bartman, but the way you bend America's Heartless, and it's so from you could rap the phone book and the shit'll sound fly. You know what I'm saying? Like I think we're not ignoring the skillful element, but then the actual message that people get from it. And again, you Google if you Google Sara Bartman, what do you find?
African lady, very voluptuous figure. She was what's the word that I want to use? Was it paraded?
It was like carnival circus, like
just around. She was just paraded around, and she was looked at as just like a freak,
right.
like some sort of freak of nature, or just some. And it's just the way that they treated her. It was just like another slave thing, but just this one in particular. And then, raped and what I'm saying, like tortured and shit like that. So I just find it telling that that same exact look is kind of like the measuring stick today. Mm-hmm. There are some girls who look like that, who have had work done, who look incredible,
right,
who look amazing. But then there's some who look like they're forcing it, like they're trying to do too much. And my thing is, it's not necessary. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessary, but it's not coming from a place of judgment. It's just giving my sister something to weigh it against. You know what I mean? Like if you Google it, weigh how you feel about yourself or how you feel about this particular look and this being like the measuring stick of beautiful in America to this. Right. That's it.
Right, no, that's real. You know, and I would say even further than that, not just black women, like it feels like the standard of beauty.
Yeah, the standard. Yeah, for
today
sure.
For all women.
I agree.
It's interesting, and again, like no matter how that makes you feel, like, and again, it's a dope album to the sense that it make like even when you're giving a lesson in the lyrics, and literally now Google that when you get a chance. Like literally as you're listening to the album on the same phone that you're listening, you can Google it. Like, and I think what it's doing is sending a lot of people right now to at least seek out bits of information and take what they want from it. You know, you also have this dope message about, I mean, you really warning young artists and telling them to put the effort into the art and not the wave. I thought, you know, that was such a thing that was necessary today, because I can't tell you how many rappers come up here and break down lyrics and a lot of it, we have a lot of young artists that come that fall in line with the style of right now, and they should, because it is their generation, it is their
That's
time.
what they're influenced by.
But they'll go up there and kind of spit or display one thing, and before they leave, I don't know if it's because it's me and I'm the lyric guy, but I could really rap. And that shit is sad to me, because but I could really rap. It's like them really rap.
Well, really rap. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it kind of feels like a lot of artists, if that's your wave, that's fine. If that's what you want, that's fine. But it does seem there's a generation of artists that are forced to, that kind of only just go the way of the wave.
Yeah.
Though they want to do something else.
They doing that thing where they separating lyrics and I guess commercial rap, you would call it. There is no difference.
You can have both.
Yeah. Like everybody putting everything in categories. Oh, I'm gonna do this for my lyrical niggas, and I'm gonna do this for my street niggas, and I'm gonna just be lyrical. If you're lyrical, just be lyrical. I mean, you've always been regarded as lyrical, and you've had commercial success. How did you balance the two, especially when you were young, right? Like, was there ever a time when you was young and felt like you did something because you had to do it? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course. I mean, I did exactly what I just said too. I put it in categories too.
Right.
I just I hope, man, when people look at my interviews and shit like that, people don't think I think I'm some kind of expert. Like I've been doing it this way the whole time. Everything that I've been saying to younger artists, I made all of those mistakes. Right. That's the reason why I feel like that I qualify to be able to tell you, no, do it this way, because I literally made every single mistake you can think of. Not one, exclude nothing. I made them all.
Well, Rhinestone Do-Rag,
everything
talks about it, right? The album called The Rock City. That was the Rock City era, right? Yep.
Tell them again. Tell them again. Because they watching right now and they're going, "What are you talking about?" Rhinestone Do-Rag. They don't even know such a thing exists.
Right. So you have a song. I took the note, right? Okay. I wore that Rhinestone Do-Rag so you don't have to. All right. So that's a reference to the Rock City, the album cover where you're wearing a do-rag with some rhinestones on it.
And it wasn't just the album cover. I used to walk around with one on. I used to walk around with a do-rag with rhinestones all over it. That's terrible. It's terrible.
I remember too, because on Boom you have a lyric. I'm paraphrasing it, right? But some because my hook might sell and say wild shit to me like I look like L. You used to get a lot of comparisons early on. Like that was a real thing that they used to compare you to LL Cool J. But I mean, you would walk on sleeveless shirts. Like it was a sight. Was that something that you were into, or did you really feel like, yo, damn, I got to sell a record? Was that you at the time, or was that something that you felt was a vehicle to sell records?
What, the Rhinestone Do-Rags?
The Rhinestone Do-Rags, the whole kind of image then.
Anything you seen me wearing when I was signed to Sony, Columbia, was probably stylists. Okay. And when I got over there, I was kind of told that all artists have stylists. And Nas was also over there, and I loved the way Nas dressed. And they told me, okay, well, we'll give you Nas stylist. I don't know if they gave me Nas stylist. The girl that they gave me as a stylist, she's great. Right. It just wasn't for me. Right. And that's the thing. Like, You gotta just do what's you, what fits you, and that's very important for artists. You gotta find a way to define yourself. You gotta find that defining thing that is you and that is only you, and then express that. Until you get to that point, then you're just gonna be trying things, and that's kind of like what I did. I came in, I was just getting pushed around by the universe. I was just trying this, trying that. And everything was just, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. And that's no way to move. You have to have a plan. You have to move with purpose. So that's why one of the first things I always ask the youngins is, what do you want to do? Right. That's the first question. Do you know that? Do you know what you want to do? If you don't know what you want to do, that's okay. Now, until you figure out what you want to do, how about you don't do that? You know what I'm saying? How about you don't sign that production deal? How about you don't sign that? Now, if you're going to sign that production deal, what is this person offering you? Does this person make beats? Is this person trying to manage you too? Is this person... Don't get mad because I'm asking questions. I'm on your team.
Well,
you know what I'm
people,
saying?
I think it kind of go... It's easy to live in this willful ignorance, like an ignorant bliss. Look, if we're being real, right? Like some artists aren't built, and you're independent now, and it's a grind, and you're more in control, right? Mm-hmm. Some artists don't want that level of control because the work that it requires.
Okay.
So it's easy to live in willful ignorance. The only thing what I would say is don't cry about it late. Like, know what you're signing, know what you're getting into.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be independent. You can sign with a major label. That could be great.
Right.
But getting the most out of it is knowing what you want out of the situation. A label can be there and it can provide everything for you that you need if those are the things that you need. That's the problem. See, if the label is trying to get you to do a certain type of record because they're thinking about how much money they're investing and they're not so sure what you are, but you can do many things. And you haven't figured out what you are as an artist yet, and you're just kind of making records that the label think you should make, what are you building? You see what I'm saying? Because 10 years from now, what kind of records are you going to be making? Is it going to be a whole new reinvent? Are you just going to make radio records for your whole career? Are you going to make albums? Are you going to make, what are you doing for you? Because essentially you want to come in and come up with something that can be self-preserving for you for long periods of time. That's what the platform affords you. It gives you the opportunity to set up something for you for life that can always feed you. Something that can exist on the royalty statement forever. There is a such thing.
Right.
Like there's a such thing as classic music. If you can make classic music, then, if you can get in bed with a label who's understanding of that and you guys are going to work together on that, then it can be great.
You produced on this entire album. We talked about that before. I think about that because I think about, always being the lyricist, you'd have, in the simplified terms, 50% of the record. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Minus any samples or anything. But, usually it's half of the record is the lyrics, half of the record is the music. Mm-hmm. You, again, in theory, own this whole album. Yeah. Lyrics and music. Did that factor into your decision? Was that part of the reason why you started producing? What's the half?
No, I don't think about stuff like that. Okay. I don't think about stuff like that. It's just I started out just trying to learn how to produce. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of happened. One thing led to another. I'm still learning from a producer's aspect. I'm still learning the ins and outs of owning the producer side and all of that. I'm still learning that, like clearing samples and I've always had that process on every album, but this time I had to be involved firsthand. I had to go back. I had to go back, find every beat. Some of them I saved right, some of them I didn't save right. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to go find every beat, find out where I got the sample from, because I didn't write none of that down. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? All of these things producers do because they already know. I never went through that process before, so I'm just kind of like learning as I go along. So just even the concept of even owning it from that perspective, I don't even know what that is yet.
Right. What type of feedback have you been getting from? You got a lot of producer friends. You work with a lot of classic producers. Have you got any feedback from this album from any of them?
They say good things to me.
Yeah.
They say good things. I mean, how impressed could they be? Right. When you talking about somebody like Bink, fucking, like 6 July, DJ Premier, Mr. Porter. Mr. Porter always tells me great things, but Porter is like, out of all of them, he's like the producer of producers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he understands the psychology between the artist and the producer. And he understands how to make you feel like you can move a mountain in there. He can do that. That's why I always keep him in the room. When I'm working on albums, I don't care what it is. If I can have him around, I have him around because he knows he brings the right vibe. Preem is like that too.
Well, Preem often doesn't do cuts on tracks that he doesn't produce. He's done it before. He's worked with Kanye. He's done cuts on Kanye. But not often do you hear a Premier cutting on the track that he did not do the beat for. It's rare. He cuts on the Block.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I just hit him up and asked him. Of course, that's DJ Premier. He'll do anything I ask. I already know it.
Would he?
I'm like the spoiled little brother. So I called him and asked him. He said, "Okay, I'll do your stupid little scratches." So he sent them to me. You just listen to his rhythm.
Right.
Yeah, you ever just analyze the rhythm of his scratches? It's so incredible, man. It's so incredible.
It's why it's an instrument that adds another layer to he revolutionized that on recorded music.
Bro, I didn't even when I sent him that beat, I hadn't even written anything to it. I thought the beat was cool.
Right.
But when he added the scratches, my excitement level went
right.
And then writing it was no problem.
You got Oswin Benjamin on there too.
My guy.
Young brother that I'm a fan of. I think the world doesn't really know. What made you get with Oswin on that?
Because the world doesn't really know.
Right.
Because the world doesn't really know. I'm a fan of him.
So
my man Rook from Justice League introduced me to Oswin back in the day and shit. Shout out to my boy Rook.
Shout out Rook.
And then I just started following him. It was like these freestyles he was doing on Sway in the morning. Yeah. He was murdering Sway in the morning all the time. It's because of Oswin Benjamin, and I don't rap on Sway in the morning like that. That's his mic.
I seen what you did to the leakers though.
Yeah.
Going back to producing, is it okay? So producing for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because the vibe you want, you're setting the stage for yourself, right? But you also did Darkness.
Yeah.
And you're going to learn on Eminem's music to be murdered by. Is there a different mindset? First of all, when you made those beats, did you know they were going to be for M? And if so, is there a different mindset when you're kind of setting the stage for somebody else versus yourself?
When I did Darkness, as soon as I did the beat, I felt like it was something he could kill. So I sent it to him. It's just on a whim. You know what I'm saying? You're going to learn with something that I played it for him, and he liked the hook. He loved White Gold on the hook. He loved him a lot.
Shout out White Gold, my guy.
I think White Gold made him like the beat more because of what he did on the hook. So I put a verse on it, and he put a verse on it, and then he just did his thing. You know what I'm saying? I put a verse on it, Marshall put a verse on it, and then Marshall arranged it how he was hearing.
I heard it.
But so I think White Gold kind of pushed that.
Help sell it.
Yeah,
but that's part of production too. As you
yeah.
learn, and I don't know how much you're gonna be sending beats to different artists or ideas. Yeah. But sometimes a beat is just not a beat. As a producer, it's like this hook and this beat. This is the song idea.
Sometimes I need that. Sometimes I need that. When I receive beats from people, if it's hooks on there, if it's a hook on there, and the hook is crazy, sometimes I need that to really get the beat, how they're hearing it.
Right.
Sometimes it just goes like that. But I don't know how much sending to other artists that I'm gonna do, but I'm definitely interested in producing full projects for people.
That's hard.
I really want to do full projects for people where I don't have to write the raps. It's way funner. Way funner.
It's funny, man. M is featured on the project, but we don't get a verse from M, right? There's a skit called Perspective, where he's talking about it, and I'm paraphrasing, but kind of makes a statement that hip hop, more than anything in the world, has brought races of kids together, and unified in a lot of ways, but also acknowledging how black music gets colonized, appropriated by white artists, and what that might do to black youth who no longer maybe have black idols to look up to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, basically talking about like erasure.
He was preaching from the pulpit.
When did this conversation take? Like, was this a conversation that y'all were naturally having, or did you say, "Hey, I need a skit on the album"? What's sort of the genesis of this idea to have Marshall? Because, and let me say this, I think the space that he's in, that we talked about it last time. I think there's a lot that's misunderstood about him,
Mm-hmm.
and I think hearing the perspective skit is going to make a lot of people think differently. And I think his interview, I want to shout out Crook. Crook just did an amazing interview with M, and it just reminded you how hip hop this guy is to the core.
Yeah.
But back to you, what is the origin and the genesis of this skit?
We just talking. We having a conversation, and the conversation inspired the idea for the skit. As soon as we were done talking, I just asked him. I was like, "Yo, man, do you think if I sent you a beat that you could say all of that shit you just said?" And he was just like, "Well, I could give it a shot. I don't remember what the fuck I said." You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like that. And it took me a couple days to come up to find the right chops to send him. And I sent it over to him, and he did it right away. He talked for about 12 minutes.
Okay, there's more to that. But
he
you couldn't have a 12-minute skit also. Like you had to edit it at some point.
There was Marshall, we a lot alike in this way. We babble. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was a lot of things being repeated.
Right.
A lot of, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, I do it all the time. So it was like, Paul just took it and kind of just cleaned it up, cut it down a little bit, made it a little more concise.
Right. Now, it's interesting, man, what he said, because I definitely, as a fan of hip hop, sometimes get scared and wonder where we're going. And this is not an Eminem thing of, you know, we always, there's that famous scene in Mo Better Blues, you know, when they talk about jazz and Denzel is like, man, well, we played at these clubs and it's only white people out here. Like, our people aren't out here. And then Wesley's like, well, you play what the fuck the people like, the people will come. Like, there's the narrative around jazz, around rock and roll, how it kind of gets divorced from the origin of being black music. You know what I'm saying? When you might see a Kenny G or something like that. Sometimes I see things in hip hop that scare me. Like, 20 years from now, is it possible to erase what hip hop was for the masses? Is the scariest shit in the world for me. You know what I'm saying?
And it just become what? Just not considered black music anymore?
Right. Like rock and roll has been. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and just not cease to exist, you're saying?
Rock and roll still exists, right? But we don't consider it black music.
Right.
Like, it's been so divorced from its origin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is just a personal fear, you know what I'm saying? So to hear M kind of speak on that and his perspective on that, and like I said, that fear doesn't come from an Eminem thing, from me personally. But, you know, there's certain things that I see, and I'm just like, are we going in this direction? And it scares the shit out of me.
I think we need to own it. You know, we need to own it. Like, when I say own it, I don't just mean like literally own it. I mean figuratively own it. Like, treat it like it's ours. Right. Treat it like it's black music. This is something that everybody can participate in.
Of course,
it's something that we took over the world. This is something that everybody's doing. Everybody is into it. The origin of it will always be black music. That means, you know, this is our house. That means, you know, do the dishes, keep the lawn cut, keep the rooms clean. You know what I mean? Right. Keep people alive. You know what I mean? Like, keep our babies clean. You know what I mean? Like, think about the future. Think about, you know, the music forever evolving. If we see it staying the same too much, provide some balance.
Right.
Share information. All of the artists come together as a collective, black and white. Collective. Just a collective of artists to just making sure that we have everything we need in order to be self-preserving for the next generation and beyond.
That's dope. I mean, I have hope. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, sometimes I have fears. I have hope.
You know, we just got to take the steps.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's real. I gotta ask you about Yelawolf, man.
What about him?
Overcomer. Y'all two had on Prime 2. Y'all had a song Without Warning. He was featured on Prime 2. I hear Overcomer and Yelawolf. This is your first and your last pass. I ain't gonna put you on blast. Your punk ass know what this about. think it's about being loud and trying to be hostile so you can find face down on the ground in front of Kick Rock House. It took me by surprise.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's yeah, because he was a friend of mine.
Right.
I mean, something, I felt disrespected by something that transpired, and that was just the way I chose to deal with it. I feel like I could have dealt with it a few different ways, and I chose not to, because I don't want to promote negativity. I don't want to engage in like silly like public back and forth beefs, and I did feel like I needed to hold him accountable. Number one, because I looked at him as a friend, and I have certain standards that I hold all my friends to, and but I didn't want to do anything that was outside of who I am, like outside of my character. I didn't want to do nothing like that would come off as vindictive, or you know what I mean, like try to ruin him or do something that looks as if I'm trying to use it to roll my album out or something like that. All of these things, I'm not really into, but I did feel the need to hold him accountable, and there wasn't a communication line between us. The window of opportunity for us to communicate closed, and it's because he didn't initiate it. So I just felt like as friends, you would initiate that communication and give that clarification to me, but that never happened.
Does this open lines of communication, or is it?
You said what?
Does this lyric open lines of communication? Does it?
Has he reached out since then? He's saying he reached out.
Right. I mean, because we saw we know we saw publicly and shit like that.
Oh yeah, after that he reached out. We didn't speak, but he reached out after that. Okay. So I mean, it's I don't wish him nothing but the best. You know what I mean? Right. I don't wish any ill will on him or anything like that. But I took offense to what he did. I move on. You know what I mean? It won't be. It's not the first time. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Nah, and you express it. This is the way you express yourself. Like this is. Yeah. Okay. Man, I want to talk to you about Griselda. There's a couple more things I want to hit on. I want to talk to you about Benny's on this album, Westside's on this album, Conway's on this album. I think we're all excited about them. I think hip hop is kind of excited of what they're bringing to the table,
as they should be.
And I think you utilize their strengths on this album in different ways. There wasn't like a Griselda posse cut, like everybody fit into a certain thing that you were trying to do on this album. What do you see in them, man? Because I look, man, you were a part of Slaughterhouse. Shady just as a collective, powerful MCs. Like, what do you see in them? What kind of attracts you to them and want to work with them?
It's raw, just raw, left to center. You know what I mean? Like, just not the norm, They're a hybrid. They're a hybrid of many things about hip hop that I've loved over the years and that I love now. And they're all of those things wrapped up in one, one solid, flawless movement, And it's an unapologetic movement. It speaks to a lot of different kind of people, and they represent a certain kind of person, and they represent it well. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'm just into it. I'm into it. I know them personally. I know that they are what they say they are. That helps sometimes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I like them. Individually, all of them. Like there's nothing about Benny, Conway, or Gunn that rubs me the wrong way. Not one thing. Not one characteristic. All three of them. They can come to my studio anytime. Anytime. There's no time of day they can call me. I'll be like, oh man, I gotta fucking answer the door for Conway. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I love those guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. And I've been kind of like, Alchemist. My boy Alchemist put me up on them a long time ago.
Shout out to ALC.
Yeah, a long time ago. Al been up on it.
He got a new album out right now too with Bodie James.
Fire.
It's fire. So I told you on Twitter when you said we might do this press run. You always welcome here, brother. So you know what I mean.
He don't ever do interviews. What is up with this guy, man?
I know. I saw he came through one time. He was with Action though.
Okay.
He was playing the back. Yeah, off to the side, man. But Yo, man, I appreciate you coming through, man. I
Thank you for
always
having me,
appreciate
man.
these conversations. I think it's important to we can go on another hour or two, I think, talking about the layers of this album. But I hope what we've kind of done with this discussion is opened up people to your mindset and your motivation and encourage people to listen. Not even once, but twice. Again, one of the brilliance of this album is that I catch something. You know what line I didn't get? Fuck, and I meant to write it down. The figure 8, Drake at a wedding, like, fuck.
Oh, I'm the 8, kissing the figure 8. Okay, you know what the figure 8 is, right?
Yeah, the infinity sign, number 8, right?
Okay, figure 8, kissing the 8. Playing Drake at a wedding forever.
Infinity forever.
Yeah, just. And then I said, put that together, dog. I'm clever, dog.
Listen, yo, you don't know how many times I rewinded that back, and that shit fuck. Cause usually I get it. It take me 1 or 2 or 3 rewinds, and it's like, all right, cause this is just what we do. And I was just sitting there, I'm like, the fuck is my man? I know it's something, cause the way you set it up, put it together.
I ain't just saying it for
I'm clever,
nothing.
dog. Yeah, man, that's hard, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
But and I love that. And I love listening to this album. And every time I catch something like that, and you know, I hope they catch it too, man. Again, I think this is a long play. This is not a wave,
For sure.
so to speak.
For sure.
And you're welcome back anytime, man. We could do this every month if you want to, man.
Love and respect to you, man. Always.
Always.
My brother.
All right. And I appreciate y'all once again for watching. For the record, go into the comments. Let me know what's your favorite joint off the Allegory. You know, last time we had Royce here, we had some spirited discussions in the comment section. I'm right there with you. So let's get right back to it, and we'll see you next week. Peace.